Fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience. For many of us, it quietly shapes the course of our lives, often without our full awareness. We find ourselves living under the shadow of fears about what might happen, fears about what might never happen, and fears about what? One of the most pervasive fears is the fear of change. It is natural to resist uncertainty because change threatens our sense of stability and security. We ask ourselves, what if this fear can keep us tea? Another common fear is the fear of aging and loneliness. As human beings, we deeply crave connection and belonging. The prospect of growing older and feeling isolated triggers profound anxiety. However, aging also brings unique opportunities for wisdom, reflection, and self-acceptance. Shifting our mindset from fearing aging to embracing the. Closely tied to this is the fear of being unwanted or insignificant. Feeling invisible or unheard can undermine our sense of purpose and self-worth. This fear often causes us to withdraw or mask our authentic selves. Yet every person's voice carries intrinsic value, regardless of external recognition. True self-worth arises from internal validation, not from others' approval. We also carry the fear of rejection and betrayal. Past wounds may lead us to guard our hearts, making it difficult to trust again. But healing requires vulnerability, a courageous act that opens the door to deeper connection. Trust, once broken, can be rebuilt with patience and intentionality, reaffirming our capacity to love and be loved. Finally, the fear of failure often immobilizes us. We dread the disappointment, shame, and the effort of starting over. However, failure is an inevitable and valuable aspect of growth. It cultivates resilience, teaches humility, and refines our goals. reframing failure as feedback rather than defeat allows us to persevere with greater strength. It's critical to acknowledge that these fears are universal and deeply human. But they do not have to dictate our lives. Developing emotional awareness, the ability to observe our fears without being overwhelmed by them, is a key step toward freedom. Imagine a life in which fear is recognized as information rather than limitation, where fear signals areas for growth but does not paralyze action. Envision embracing change as an opportunity rather than a threat, aging as a process of enrichment rather than loss, self-worth as inherent rather than conditional, trust as a practice rather than a guarantee, and failure as a catalyst for success rather than a final verdict. This transformation begins with mindfulness and self-compassion, acknowledging our fears with curiosity and kindness instead of judgment. You are not alone in facing these fears. They connect us all as part of the shared human experience, and within each of us lies the capacity to choose our response, to allow fear to limit us, or to let it guide us toward growth. Today, I invite you to gently acknowledge your fears. Listen to their message, then with courage and patience, take a step forward, not in the absence of fear, but in spite of it. Because life is not about eliminating fear. It is about learning to coexist with it, to walk alongside it with awareness and grace. And every courageous step you take on this path is a profound victory.